Okay, hi Maya. So question number 2, you were asking me about why wouldn't I use the second derivative test for extrema. The answer in this case is you could, okay? So if you look for question number 2, right here, I had to kind of write it again because I think I inadvertently erased it. This is the first derivative test for extrema, right? Because f, right, is decreasing then increasing. So f is going to be decreasing then increasing. So the absolute min has to occur at x equals -2 by the first derivative test for extrema. But my point here is that if you wanted to use a second derivative test for extrema, okay, what you would do is, you'd still do the first derivative up to here to find where f prime equals 0, because that is the first step. Then you would go here and find the second derivative. The second derivative here is going to equal 36x squared plus 6x minus 42, okay? And in this case, what we're going to do is we would take those 3 critical points and we'd figure out what is the sign of the second derivative at all 3 of these points, all right? Now, when I do this, I'm going to see the following. If I plug in 0 into f double, this is negative, okay? Plug in 7/4 into f double, 7/4 into f double, it's going to be negative again with a little bit more mental math involved. F double -2 into f double, I get this. So if I look at this, the second derivative at these 2 values of x is negative, which means that at x equals 0 and at x equals 7/4, f is concave down. F is concave down at those x values, and at those x values, f prime equals 0. So at those 2 x values, if f double is negative, f kind of looks like this. So at these 2 values, what I've got here is, according to the concavity, relative maxima. But at f double at -2, right, f double is positive. So what I've got is a situation where the curve f is concave up and you have a point of horizontal tangency. So that's where the min occurred. So you could have used the second derivative test for extrema. Now, this is where you ask yourself, like, which one was more of a headache? In this case, and I'm sure someone would disagree with me. In this case, I guess I would argue that, plugging in these x values into f double required a bit more arithmetic than I wanted to partake in. And maybe here just plugging in values in between these critical points of f prime was easier. Pardon me. But in this case, your question of why didn't I use f double, the answer is I could have, but in the kind of path, as I embarked on this journey, I guess, for lack of a better analogy, which is now that I think about it, it's kind of a dorky thing to say, but at this point, when I looked at f double and when I mentally considered plugging in values of x between these critical points into f double, it was not a pain for me, right? So I hope I answered your question, Maya. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.